The loss is frustrating. You'd have to talk to the league office kind of on that topic, but it's obviously tough to lose a game, and I think anybody that follows the league when it comes to Jalen's penalty knows that hadn't happened very often. I think we're actually the first one that's been booth initiated, and the flag's actually been thrown like that. So that's challenging, but there are a bunch of plays that we could have made throughout that game that could have helped us win that game.
You got any sort of clarification from the league, though, about booth reviews, when they can happen, when they can't happen, how that whole process?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's, there's a standardized answer to why they put it in and how it goes about. And unfortunately for us, we were the first one to be actually thrown and affected by it.
Was there an explanation given to you on the field at the last play?
Not on the field. I mean, things happen pretty quickly, and not on the field.
Why did you decide to not let David back in the game after his fumble?
We just felt like with Drake needed to get something going, and kept him rolling. You know, he's the last couple of weeks, practice games has brought a little pop to the run game, the pass game, and we felt like he was the guy to try and close the game out with.
Why do you think that did not have anything to do with his injury? Correct. It was your decision to.
Correct.
Why do you think we haven't seen the explosiveness in the run game from David that we did in past years?
Yeah, I think he's obviously been hampered by some of those injuries, and he's still working through those and getting a feel for it.
Will this impact his future playing time?
What's that? The injuries, or
you decide not to play him, to sit him? Will that carry over?
We'll put the best guys out there each week that we feel like give us the best chance to win, and that can change week in and week out.
Do you think David's been a little bit too tentative when he gets the ball? That he's not getting the holes quickly enough?
That's tough to say. I think this week that was a very good run defense, and they had a lot to do with some of the lack of production in the run game.
Outside of Tampa's defense specifically with that one game, what are some of the bigger challenges of figuring out when to use David and Kenyon?
We just acquired Kenyon, and I think that's trying to figure out the best possible rotation and who does what best is always a challenge, but it's two very serviceable backs, two guys who can be game breakers at any time, and so you like to have a problem like that. But that's something that's going to, over the next few weeks, we're going to figure out, hey, what's the best role for each guy and run with it.
Are you expecting Chase back this week, and if so, how will that impact all of that?
I'm not sure this week, but I would expect him hopefully in the near future.
Do you have an update on Patrick's condition?
I think Patrick, he got banged up, but I think he'll be day-to-day and hopefully is able to go this week. If not, we have the bye and would definitely be back the next game.
When he was on the field, the trainers were looking at him on the sideline. They were looking at his ankle, and it was more like calf. Is it a sprain? Is it a tweak? Is it muscle?
Calf, yeah, some sort of muscle injury.
Is there anything that because you have the bye, it might be best to have him just get him 2 weeks off and completely healthy?
We want to see how he feels. We'll see how he feels Wednesday and Thursday and go from there. And he's a guy who obviously we want to be 100% and don't want to risk anything moving forward.
Would you evaluate that any differently given that he's already kind of having that challenge of getting back to game speed and missing the first 6 games? Does that impact this decision at all?
I'd say so. I think you want to make sure he's 100%. He's still getting his football legs underneath him, and he understands that, and we understand that, and you don't want to hinder that in any way.
When you look at Zach Allen, I know you said you wanted to be careful with him. Have you given any thought, with as much time as he's missed, that just to put him on IR and kind of let him get better for next year? Or is that?
There's been discussions. The big thing with Zach is the reps are so valuable as a rookie. With our bye week coming up, we've kind of targeted that for a while, that hopefully that could be a point to get him back for the last 5 and get those valuable reps. But we'll see. Once again, we want to make sure he is 100% when he's out there and can play at his best.
Andy Isabella's at a career high for snaps in his short career. What made you comfortable playing him more, and what did you see out of him?
He earned it at practice and just continued to get more comfortable. And you really saw this past week a lot of confidence after the San Francisco game and the huge play he had. I think he's starting to understand he can play at this level. He's got to do things right, but his practice habits have jumped up, his preparation has jumped up, and he's starting to feel like he belongs in this league.
You talked a couple times about how he needed to learn how to play receiver in the NFL. Did that light switch kind of go on in the last last week or two?
Yeah, it's been trending that way for a while, and we've had him inside, had him outside, and I think just now the comfort level having him outside more so has really helped his development recently.
Were you disappointed at all in your tackling yesterday? There were a couple of times on their drives at the end of the first half, at the end of the game, where it looked like guys weren't necessarily wrapping up instead of just...
Yeah, there were some shoulders being thrown that we have to be better in those situations. I mean, those are two huge drives into the half, into the game, obviously, and we didn't get guys down in space, and our guys know that, and we have to tackle better.
You mentioned yesterday that you wanted your guys to have a little bit better feel of the urgency on that last drive and how much time. The big chunk came out right before fourth down. How much did that play into not rushing through things, and how do you get guys to have that urgency?
Yeah, I mean, our entire offense is based on urgency, and so it was just a deal where I probably didn't do a very good job with the play calls, and we didn't do a good job of getting it called and just knowing the situation. And we've handled 2-minute drives really well throughout this season thus far, and that was one that we'd all like to have back.
I know you talked about that, you want this season to be about trending upward and getting better and everything. Do you feel the last few weeks, do you feel kind of stuck at all that, a lot of good things are happening, but bad mistakes kind of, are too much in the end? Do you feel you've kind of hit a plateau or anything?
I don't think we've hit a plateau. I think we have to do the little things better. The effort continues to be outstanding. Gives ourselves a chance at the end of every game, but the margin for error is so small in this league that if you're having those penalties and you're having the missed opportunities that we've had in the red zone and defensively, you're not going to win those games. And so I see us continue to get better as a football team, but that's an area that just keeps showing up.
What can you take away? One of your losses you've been in those games pretty late. Obviously, New Orleans 10-6 in the third. Niners, lost by a few. What can you take away from those games, even though they're not wins and maybe not a moral victory, but what can you step back and say, hey, this is going well? Or
more than anything, just point out why we didn't finish. I think, once again, guys are playing hard, they're playing to win, have the right attitude, the effort, the passion, everything's there. It's you can point out 5 or 6 plays in each of these games that it could have gone the other way, and they're very fixable errors, whether it be mental errors or penalties or turnovers. And so it's just teachable moments.
When you have that fourth down fake punt call, how much of that in the moment is you thinking this will work because of what we've seen on film from them, or we just have the confidence we can make it work?
It's 50-50, I'd say. Yeah, I think we felt good about the way it had been executed in practice, and also about the looks that we'd seen. And to their credit, they played it really well. Andy did a nice job. He knows on that fourth down you can keep that ball in bounds no matter what. And then Farrell, he's just one of those football players that tends to make plays for us.
You guys were just 1 of 10 on third downs. Was there something specific that was happening there that you can identify?
I can't, other than I didn't call a very good game on third down. I mean, I don't know if I've ever been 1 in 10. 1 for 10 at any level. Luckily, our guys bailed us out with some key fourth down conversions, but that wasn't good enough, and that's on me. I mean, I call those, and I got to get us in better calls.
Going so long without an off week obviously brings physical challenges for players, but have you seen mental ones too, and how do you kind of cope with that?
I haven't seen mental ones. I think the mental errors that we've had is just a lack of focus, and it starts with me and making sure we're holding guys accountable, and they're holding each other accountable, and they know that. They know what we can be, and we haven't gotten to that point yet, and we have 6 opportunities to try and be the team we want to be.
Looking forward to this weekend, just playing the 49ers this close together. What can that help? How can that hurt you guys? Where do you evaluate that?
It's my first time ever doing that, where you play a team from your own division, basically back-to-back or a week apart, and so I'm still kind of working through those processes of how to approach it, and getting help from those other coaches, how they've done it in the past when you only have one game to kind of go off of. But yeah, it's a huge challenge. You're playing the undefeated team in the league back-to-back weeks, or within 3 weeks. It's going to be a huge challenge, and we're going to have to play our best game to hang in there.